Привет, как дела? Я Билл МакМайкл. Some people are considering going on a retreat, and having spent about 4 years of my life in retreat, I thought I would talk a little bit about why you might want to go on retreat. When you're in the normal world, when you're in the outside world, your mind's very busy with everything that is around you. From the moment you get up to the moment you go to sleep, there's something trying to get your mind's attention. Particularly, as you know, here we are on the internet. The internet is constantly trying to fill up your mind with what somebody else wants you to be thinking about. And when you go into retreat, you get to think about what you want to think about. You have control over your own mind when you're in. The advantage of that is that you can choose intelligently. You choose you're capable of choosing more intelligently what goes into your mind and what you're doing with your mind than what's possible in the normal world when, radio, TV, everything's blaring at you. It's always, buy this, go here, do that. And all of that would be fine, except it's not making you happy the way you want to be happy. If you're human, right? Like you have good days and bad days, and most of the things that we're chasing after don't really help the way we want them to help. And so when you go into retreat, all of a sudden you've got mental space. You can see things clearly, or more clearly. It takes a while to settle down. But the main reason to go into retreat is to have just the space and the quiet to be able to think clearly. And it really does. It really, really helps. What to expect when you're in retreat? To be honest, it's funny. It's funny. People think that when you go in, it's all going to be, a big relaxing vacation. It's, me time. It's, sounds pleasant. And the thing is to be honest, it's really not like that. You go in and it is nice. The first couple of days you get to sleep, you get to rest, you get to catch up, which that part's great. And then once you've been in, it's just you and your mind, and you start seeing your mind, maybe for the first time in a long time. And you'll bring all your mental afflictions in with you. You'll anger, jealousy, ignorance. It's all still there. It's in your own mind. And so you'll start having to wrestle with those directly. And then because there's nobody influencing you other than yourself, it's a little easier to see that you're the one creating a good bit of, the anguish that that most people go through. But then also there's a beautiful side of it where you're going to be reciting a sadhana, and they're beautiful. They're really, really beautiful. Because instead of the normal blah, blah, blah that the world is trying to put in your mind, you're visualizing yourself, and you're visualizing yourself saving the universe, and, the highest things, imagining a better world. And you're literally at that point planting the seeds in your mind to see that happen, because even as you go deeper into retreat, you'll realize that it's not just surface things that your mind's creating. Your mind's creating your entire world. And it's eventually, if you learn to meditate well enough, you can see that directly. But the nice thing about retreat is that you get familiar with the sadhana. You get familiar with the goals that you're trying to accomplish, and you're actually it will help you develop a relationship with, the beings that reached enlightenment before you. And they've left a trail for you to get to them, and that trail is the sadhana that you'll be reciting. So it can be hard, and it can be beautiful both. The first retreat I did was a 10-day retreat. And that one was, to be honest, that one was mostly hard physical conditions, in a tent in the cold weather. And I was totally unprepared for the cold weather. And, but I learned the first time that, I was reciting the mantras, and I got lung, really, really bad lung. So bad that I had to stop reciting the mantras. And lung's it's a condition of the energy in your body where you get too much of it, make you tense and unhappy, and you can't sleep. And so the interesting thing about that is that just simply from reciting some words, I got this condition that kept me up all night long, and it changed me physically. And I think, oh, okay. Well, they were talking about it before we went in, that, prana is what's being affected, and something that's not really discussed in the West. And when I was in a retreat, you could feel it. It was more easy to feel your subtle body, and you could see it being directly affected. And so it was an interesting confirmation that they knew what they were talking about, the people who had written the scriptures. And then, I did longer retreats. I did 6 one-month-long retreats. And with that, I was getting familiar with the enlightened being that I was, with Vajrayogini, who I was reciting the sadhana for. And then, and of course, the most profound one was my 3-month retreat that I did. And that one was the one where, over the process of about a year, my mind really stilled down, and the clarity and focus that came was really, really extraordinary. The mental capacity that we all have, that's being obscured, it's being disturbed by the outside world, and all the distractions keep us from using our mind to its full capacity. And in retreat, I was able to focus, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful to have a clear mind, to see problems better, to see relationships better, to see the cause and effect of my actions and the result I'd been getting. And also, you could see your mental afflictions. And, particularly, like a year later, like there's nobody else to blame. It's just you in your cabin, right? If I got angry or jealous, and then you could see it, you'd have one negative thought, just one little negative thought, and it could spin you off for a day or two on a negative cycle. And then after that happens a few times, after you've ruined a few of your days or weeks or months with negative thoughts like that, then as soon as you started having a negative thought, some anger or jealousy or something like that, you'd realize, oh, well, hey, this is not good. I'd better stop it immediately. And so after 3 years of doing this, my anger had been reduced dramatically, in the outside world, particularly because I had a military background and came from a military family. My anger was power. And, which obviously it's wrong worldview. By the end of 3-year retreat, I'd really reduced my mental afflictions quite a bit, dramatically. So, and that wouldn't have been possible in the outside world. There's just too many other things going on. You tend to keep repeating the same actions over and over and over again, because you don't have time to reconsider them. You just get up and go through your day. You get to know your own mind, and you get to fill it up with a better image, better things. You get to choose intelligently what you're going to put into your mind with the sadhana. And you're able to do it better with the focus that you get. And so then what happens after retreat? So in retreat, I was there, and a lot of it, most of it, I was intentionally planting the seeds to have a spiritual partner. I really wanted to go through this path with a partner. And, all the happiness that brings when you have a good partnership. It took me a few years after retreat. I still had negative seeds to clean up, still had the last of my mental afflictions to clean up. But when I did it, I did get my partner. And there's no way in the world my wife Ina would have ever come to me if I just stayed on a normal path. She's clearly the product of that 3-year retreat. And I don't think you have to go into a 3-year retreat to do it, unless your seeds are like mine. So hopefully you've got better seeds. Certainly many people have been able to have a partner without going on 3-year retreat and do it successfully. But for me, I managed to get to my late 40s without a partner, and probably would have continued on like that. It took a big change for me to have a happy partnership. And very grateful I had the chance to do it, because, the days would last about 12 hours in retreat. A lot of that was directly praying to have your spiritual partner, and every minute of it was directed towards that goal. And then, of course, together, it's incredible. But I'm convinced that if you really have a true spiritual partnership, you can. It's a long story, but I think you can save the universe with them. I really do. It's possible because it's your own mind that's projecting the world out. And if you change your mind, you can change the world. That's not just an office poster quote by Gandhi. It literally works like that. And so, for me, my spiritual partner was proof that I did it. I changed my world. She's here, and we're working together, and we're working on the things that I wanted to work on most. Trying to help people in the best way possible. So yeah, it's a path. Retreat is a path, and it's a journey with a lot of very hard things that come up as you clean your mind. It's not easy, but it's also a lot of very beautiful things. And ultimately, you can't fix the world until you fix your own mind. And retreat's a very powerful tool to help you do that. How to prepare for retreat? Really, there's not much you can do, honestly. Relax, enjoy it, take care of your outside issues, people that need you. Make sure that those things are taken care of, family and work, and wrap that up so that when you go into retreat, nobody's calling you. Work isn't going to need you to take care of something. If you have children, your spouse, your partner, can take care of them for 10 days and just decide that it's going to be okay to not physically manipulate things in the outside world for the period of the retreat. So the main thing you can do to get ready is just take care of your responsibilities in the outside world before going in. So that way you can actually use your time. And when you go in, relax, be happy, enjoy the opportunity. It's a very precious thing that you've got. It's not easy to get into retreat, and make use of your time there by relaxing and enjoying it, and be happy that you're there.